philosopher? Yes, yes, yes.
Good evening, good morning, good night, good day. It's your boy Retro. Thank you for pressing play.
Come on, somebody lift up a shout to the Lord. Yeah.
So you're a philosopher? Yes, 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 yes. I think very deeply.
I need just a little more Jesus. I need just a little more Jesus.
Sheldon, start up the mic then. We start up the mic them now. Sheldon, start up the mic then. We are gonna crank up the mic them now.
So you're a philosopher? Yes.
Right within your own state, I'm pretty positive that every state has an attraction. And in other words, there's something in your state that might even be 30 minutes from your home address, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and 2 hours is pretty much a tank of gas, man. I think we can all spring for a tank of gas. I know it's going up to about $3,000 a gallon right now, but you know what I mean. So let's go ahead and jump right in this, man. And first and foremost, again, we're going to be talking about 7 ways to bike on a budget. So don't look at your income or what you have left over after payday and say, man, I can't go nowhere. You can go somewhere. We're gonna talk about that real quick. We're gonna talk about it real quick. All right. Now here's what we got to do. Okay, we cannot afford to bike over our budget. Yeah, we can't do that, man. You can't look at YouTube. You can't look at this, that, and the other social media and everything and see all the posts that everybody's doing. And I love seeing the posts myself. I post a few myself. And some of the posts that I see, the destinations that people are going, they're beautiful. They're great. But I've got to plan for those. I can't just jump up and go. All right. So 7 ways to bike on a budget. Let's jump right on in. So number one, go where you can afford. Okay, go where you can afford. Again, maybe across country is not your destination. You can't afford to do that, but you can go a couple states over, or somewhere right within your own home state. Now, in the opening video, you saw I was on my way to the Tail of the Dragon, and from where I live, it's about maybe 2-3 hours. So on a weekend, we can knock that out real quick, get up there, enjoy the ride, and get some food and enjoy some fellowship, and still get back home before nightfall. You know what I mean? And so a great destination does not mean a lengthy destination. All right. So go where you can afford. Again, maybe it's a local place, but get out and go. Okay. Number 2, visit family and friends. Okay. Now, maybe you have enough money to get your bike sorted out, and then get about maybe 4 or 5 states over, but then when you count up the gas and you count up, the cost for getting your motorcycle sorted out, getting that fluid changed or getting those brakes replaced or tires, please don't go across state lines when you got them ball slick tires on your bike. Please don't do that. Please. Pretty please, with sugar on top. Okay. All right. And so now you did all that you needed to do for your bike, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But now you don't have enough money for for a hotel. Well, again, visit family and friends, and that's a good couch that you can probably sleep on. You can spend the night right there with Nana and them. With Uncle Leroy, with cousin Junebug, and the truth of the matter is, when was the last time you saw them? when was the last time you got together with your cousins and them and stuff like that? And just remember back in the day, man, I mean to tell you, it looked like, man, it looked like it was just a orphanage at grandmama house. You know what I mean? Because all the cousins was down there and we were just all in the living room. We couldn't go in that room with the plastic on the couch, but other than that, we just had the we just run all over the place. And so get out, get on your motorcycle and go see some relatives that you hadn't seen in a while. Okay. Because again, man, family is very important. All right. So get out and visit some family and friends, and you can end up spending the night there, like I said, with some family members, and that'll save you a couple hundred right there. You ain't got to go out there and spend it on a hotel, sleep in a strange bed. You can sleep right there in your family house and still enjoy your trip. All right. Because when you really look at it, some of our families live in areas where they have great attractions. They got parks, they got festivals, they got bike events, and so on and so forth. So make your family a destination from time to time. All right, and that'll save you some money right there. You don't got to worry about giving out to Mr. Holiday Inn. All right, all right. Let's move on to number 3. Now, number 3 for some might not rock with this. They might not be able to get with it, but I promise you, if you give it a shot, I promise you, if you give it a chance, it'll prove to be pretty surprising. Okay. Now, when I was a kid, my daddy, he would take us out. He had this old blue van, and he had it all. He tried to get it all fixed up and everything, and so he would take us tent camping. And my dad, he was, oh my goodness, he was one of a kind. But I remember we had this old green tent, and he said, "Don't touch the tent." Well, look here, man. I'm not even 12 years old yet. You tell me don't, I'm going to. I mean, I'm just saying, right? I was very inquisitive, right? And so now here it is. It's raining, and Daddy said, "Don't touch the tent." But I've got to touch the tent and won't happen. And yeah, I touched the tent and that thing started leaking and everything. And so some of the memories that we had of camping are very fond. Not all of them were great, but I tell you, man, they made for great times. All right. And so go camping. We went cross country. We left North Carolina, affectionately known as North Kakalaki to some, and we headed down to Jacksonville, Florida. Met up with my man Sarge, Big Sarge down there. What's going on, Big Sarge? He's got an experiment going on. It's not a challenge. It is a social experiment. Amen. And he's calling it each one reach one, each one teach one. I-10 end to end. And so we went down there. We met with Big Sarge, and then we made a beeline for I-10 headed west. Right now, we stopped in Destin, Florida. As a matter of fact, it was Niceville, right outside of Destin, Florida. Okay, and so I planned to tent there, and that we did. Now we got there later than we had planned, but when we got there, it was in the middle of the night. So I'm out there now, and I'm setting up this tent, thinking about my daddy and everything, and finally get the tent set up, get the campsite ready to go. And man, I tell you, we had a great night. It was a beautiful campsite, and halfway through the night, it gets kind of cold. Of course, we took off the day after Christmas, and so here we are, 26th of December, down in Florida. During the day it was straight, but middle of the night it got kind of cold. Long story short, here we are, and next thing you know, I wake up, I'm laying on the floor. Yeah, me and my lovely wife, we laying on the floor. The air mattress, I think we must have laid it on a sharp rock or whatever, and so in the middle of the night it just deflated. So now here I am, I'm out there, I'm trying to get this thing blown up. It was hilarious, not at the moment, but as we look back over it, we really had a good laugh. And so I promise you, if you give camping a try, make sure you don't put your air mattress on a sharp rock. Let me just put that out there, okay? You don't want to do that. That's not a good look. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but other than that, man, I tell you, we had a great time. And once we got that thing blown back up, man, we slept real good throughout the rest of the night. We got up in the morning, took a walk down by the water. So I'm saying you don't always have to be in a 5-star hotel, but you can give camping a shot. And trust me, it was really nice. You say, well, I don't know about that, man. I ain't doing no tent thing. Well, a lot of the campsites have cabins. So if you don't want to do the tent thing, you can do the cabin thing and be just as comfortable. All right. And it will just add a whole nother dynamic to your trip. Okay. Take my word for it. Give it a shot. And I want you to let me know how it worked out for you when you went camping. All right. So number 1, we talked about go where you can afford. All right. Number 2, visit family and friends, because sometimes they can provide a place for you to stay, a meal for you to eat. That's going to save you some money right there. And then number three, maybe you're in an area or have that option, try camping out. Okay. Now you can try your local KOA. You can try one of the national or state parks. They're normally very clean, very safe. They have all the facilities, running water, and all that stuff. So depending on how equipped you are or elaborate your setup is, you can really have all of the creature comforts, as they would say, even though you're camping outdoors. All right. Now you may have to invest in a tent, but that's a small expense to save you a whole lot more, especially if you're going to camp multiple days. All right. Okay, so for me, I don't mind camping because I may say I'm going to save a couple $100 because if you're camping out, I mean, you're looking at about what, maybe $20 a night, depending on where you are. And so the money you save on the hotel room, which is going to run you about maybe $1.50. So now you got what, $1.30, give or take. You know what I mean? That's food to eat out with. That's a gas tank and then some, and who knows what else. All right. So give the camp out thing a try. Number four, I want to talk to you about prep, plan, and pray. Maybe we should put the pray first, but long as it's in there. All right. You want to prep, you want to plan, and you want to pray. Now, in my preparation, I got my mattress out. I blew it up, made sure everything was good. I put the tent up and everything, make sure I could do it, this, that, and the other. I was prepping for this trip, right? And then we had the plan, right? Now, also preparation went into making sure my bike was ready, making sure my body was ready, and making sure my mind was ready, okay? Because when you get in yonder, it's more than just twisting the throttle, okay? There is a mental part to it as well as a physical and even spiritual, all right? So you want to make sure you prep, you want to make sure you plan. Okay. Now, if you're planning to be at a certain destination at a certain time, then you want to check and make sure that restaurants are depending on what you want to eat. You want to make sure that if you got any attractions planned, check out that you're getting there and ample, excuse me, that you're getting there and have ample time to check those things out. Okay. So you want to prep, you want to plan, and of course you want to pray. Okay. Because without the Father, man, what we going to do? We just spinning wheels. All right. We just spinning wheels. We can plan, we can prep, but if we don't talk to the Lord, things can go haywire. All right. So you want to prep, plan, and pray. Now, if you don't prep, right, you didn't check your bike for this, that, or the other, you didn't check your gear for this, that, and the other, because some of us, you haven't rode all winter time, and now that the warmer weather is upon us, you planning this big trip, and so you just throw your bag on the bike and you take off. You didn't prep, you didn't go over your gear, make sure everything was still good. Maybe moths ate a hole in it. I don't know where you're keeping your stuff at. I'm just saying you gotta prep, go over your stuff, make sure you got everything that you're gonna need. You don't want to get halfway down the road and realize, man, I didn't grab such and such, I didn't bring such and such. Now you got to find a place to get what you left behind. And now that's another expense that wasn't necessarily added in. Okay. So that's why prepping is important. And the planning part is, you get somewhere and you didn't plan a certain thing or whatever. And now you gotta operate on the fly kind of a thing, and so that could get kind of dicey as well. All right. So you want to make sure you got things planned out. And that way you're not missing some things. That way you're not having to spend extra money to try to, make things work out. All right. And so let's move on. Number five, we only got 7 for you tonight. We only got 7 for you. Okay. Now, number five, right? Okay. Now, some of us, we can choose to go to certain locations. But if we go during the off season, things could be a whole lot cheaper. Now, suppose you say, well, I can go, but I might camp 3 nights or 2 nights or whatever. However, if you go during the off season, the hotels won't be as expensive. Let's say Sturgis, for instance, number one, if you can even find a place, you know what I mean? And so there are a lot of people, I haven't gone to Sturgis yet. It is on my bucket list. So we'll get there. But I've had a lot of people share advice and said that, if you can go during the off season, you'll enjoy it a whole lot more. I guess it depends on what you're going for. But I, myself, your homeboy, I can see me enjoying it a little bit more during the off season because I don't really need all the hundreds and thousands of bikes. and all that good stuff. I guess I'm just that kind of a dude. But anyway, you can consider that as well. Maybe you're going to the beach instead of going during the the height of the summer. Maybe go I don't know when definitely don't go during spring break and things like that. Bike rallies and stuff like that. If you're going for the bike rally, that's one thing. But if you're looking to just make a trip, then you might want to consider doing it during the off-peak season. All right, prices are a whole lot less for hotels, for food, and who knows what else. All right, they see you coming a mile away. They say, "Yep, here comes a tourist. Here comes an out-of-towner. We're gonna hit them for everything they got." But during the off seasons, they need the business a little bit more, and things tend to be a little bit easier on the pocketbook. Number 6, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, go easy on the throttle. Now, let's pause for a minute. Because I get it, man. You just got that 131 put in that bike, man, and you ready to make it do what it do. You got them new pipes on that thing, and you just ready to open that girl up. And I guess there's a time and place for everything. But if you are biking on a budget, okay, now that don't mean you're broke. Don't get it twisted. Now, I'm just saying, ain't nothing wrong being, frugal, but I ain't saying that you're broke. But if you're biking on a budget, let's just say you got a trip plan, but something else came up at the house, or maybe the kid graduated or something like that. So you got to get them a new car, or whatever, and but you don't want to cancel your trip. So what you do is you bike on a budget. You're going to make sure you do your trip, but you can't go out there and break the bank because you got to do stuff when you get back home. I'm just saying, And so stay out the throttle. I mean, I remember we was taking our trip and I said, we got plenty of time. I'm just going to go easy. And yeah, okay. That one's easier said than done, because sometimes you just want to get up in that thing, and just twist that throttle. But if we would ease off of the throttle a little bit, we'll save a little bit of gas. It may not be a whole lot, but it's going to be something. All right. So consider easing up on throttle for more than one reason. Okay. Now, you got to understand, the more you're out there hitting that throttle, riding that bike hard, let's just say it's during the summertime, the bike's already hot. You don't want to add any additional stress to the motor, to the training, to the bike overall. You know what I mean? So easing off of the throttle can benefit us in more than just one way. Okay. Now, the other way it can benefit us, and this is for me, because let's just say you got that new 31, or that, you got that new cam put in that thing, and you was about to open that thing all the way up, right? And it's all fine and dandy until it's not. And so now Popo up there in the corner and they got you. Now here you got a daggone, $600, $700 ticket, depending on how fast you're going and depending on where you at. And you might even see some jail time, my friend. So just ease off of the throttle, man. And that way you don't have to spend time scanning for Popo, because here's the deal. It's bad enough you got to watch out for road debris. Tractor trailer just, he had some Maypops on and it sure enough popped that day. And now it's in the middle of the road. So you got to watch out for that. You got to watch out for the little critters running across the road. You got to watch out for the nincompoops. Yeah, I said it, the nincompoops that's on their cell phone texting and reading and doing all this kind of stuff, coming over into your lane. And it's so much stuff for us to watch out for. And if we're looking out for the Popo, we can't pay attention to all those other things. So I found out hitting that cruise control and just chilling, it'll save you a little bit on your tank, and it'll save you a little bit on your pocket, and it can save you a little bit on some other areas as well. All right. So go easy on the throttle. Now, if you had taken advantage of step number 4 or tip number 4, prep, plan, and pray, then you might not have to get on the throttle as much, because you got everything already planned out, or sticking to the plan, and therefore everything's going as it should go. All right. So go easy on the throttle is number 6. Number 7, last but certainly not least, ladies and gentlemen, is simply stay up on your maintenance. Yeah, stay up on your maintenance. It's always easier to keep up than it is to catch up. Now, that's a life tip for you right there. Whether you apply that to the motorcycle, to the car, to the wife, to the house, it's applicable across the board, my friend. So it's easier to keep up than it is to catch up. All right. And so it's a much cheaper for preventative maintenance than it is for all-out repairs. Okay, now let's just say your oil and filter change, maybe you're getting a three fluid, you're dropping all three fluids, the oil, the transmission, and the primary. All right, what, maybe a couple $100, give or take here or there, depending on where you go. Versus you saying, well, I can stretch it one more trip, and now you get out there. Now here you is out in the middle of no man's land, and your transmission just jump out the daggone motorcycle. Now what you gonna do? Because you skip the preventative maintenance or the routine maintenance. Now you're stuck with a costly repair of not just replacing fluid, but a whole doggone transmission. Now you're saying I should have just got the three fluid drop. Yeah, you should have. Yeah, you should have. And so stay up on your maintenance. All right. I mean, that goes for all of us, man. And if you ride them hard, you got to maintain them just as hard. Yeah, I'm just saying, because I believe that I happen to ride a Harley. I mean, to each his own. But and I think that every now and then, I call her Ruby Red. Every now and then, Ruby Red, she just asking to get opened up, and so